On the contrary, the report gives entirely an alternate view that Kashmiris are subjugated to horrific treatment and the methods engineered by their security forces are unique to perpetrate maximum reign of terror. Pakistan for decades have called upon the international community at all fora, including the United Nations in its various bodies and forms, the OIC platforms, to stop the mayhem on in occupied Kashmir. In the past, Human Rights Watch and the Amnesty International also highlighted the violations, but India always brushed aside the realities expressed. The recent report of the High Commissioner is evidence-based and evidence of atrocities collected from credible sources. The report is writ at large of breadth and scope of Indian excesses against the Kashmiris. It extensively covers details of unspeakable atrocities perpetrated by the Indian security forces against the Kashmiri people and the criminal level of impunity enjoyed by them under the cover of their draconian laws. This use of violence is deliberate, cruel, and precise, aimed to provoke, punish, and control the Kashmiris. If anything, India has stepped up its campaign of violence in Indian occupied Jammu and Kashmir since the release of the report by imposing governor rule, curfews, killing civilians, smothering dissent, and resorting to widespread media censorship. The assassination of Shujat Bukhari, veteran Kashmiri journalist, in mere hours after his tweet regarding the OHCHR report speaks volumes about the strangulation of the media in Indian occupied Jammu and Kashmir. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, the report recommends to establish a commission of inquiry to investigate the horrendous acts of Indian violations of human rights in occupied Kashmir. At the same time, the report also sends a strong message to Indian government to halt immediately harsh measures against Kashmiris. I call upon members of the contact group to endorse the findings of the report and exert their pressure on the government of India to abide by the international human rights standards and international law. I also commend the High Commissioner on Human Rights for releasing the report and attracting the ire of Indian government, which has casted aspersions on the report and its authors. Based on the report's recommendation, we call upon Human Rights Council to take decision to establish the commission and determine its terms of reference to start the investigation by appointing special rapporteur. Excellencies, we urge the Human Rights Council for an expedited action to constitute the Commission of Inquiry to investigate gross human rights violations in the Indian occupied Kashmir. If India has nothing to hide, it must act now and must agree to allow visit to Jammu and Kashmir. We also call upon India to give access to OIC Independent Permanent Human Rights Commission of OIC to undertake visit to Indian occupied Kashmir. It goes without saying that all roads to peace and prosperity in South Asia go through Jammu and Kashmir. Pakistan, for its part, is committed to the UN Security Council resolutions calling for an UN-mandated plebiscite in Jammu and Kashmir. We will continue to extend our resolute moral, political and diplomatic support to the people of Indian occupied Jammu and Kashmir to safeguard their right to self-determination through a just and impartial plebiscite in accordance with the United Nations Charter. The shadows of oppression and deprivation have loomed for too long on Indian occupied Kashmir. The international community has turned a blind eye to the violence perpetrated by India. Let the world community not forget its obligations towards the people of India, Indian occupied Jammu and Kashmir, and let us understand that continued apathy to the sufferings of the Kashmiri people could have disastrous consequences for world peace. In the end, let us once again make our pledge to the people of Indian occupied Kashmir that we stand with you until the time your honor, your dignity, and your freedom is not returned to you. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency.